Okay, so the theme of today's episode is technology. Now technology is pretty important. Now, if you look at the history, which I often do, I often spend my days looking at the history. You'll know that that a lot of that like if you that things have changed a lot since the past. Now, in the past, people would live in little huts, and when they wanted food, they'd have to grind the grain with their own hands. But now, people don't do that anymore. Now, people are on their phone, and they be ordering food on the internet, and it just comes. Where does the food come from? No one knows. It just appears. Now, obviously something has changed since then. So my question, or the first question we're going to be asking today, is what would happen if you sent a scientist who knows all about the today stuff into the past? Would they, would that scientist be be able to create the society of today with only their information about future stuff? I don't now. If you look at it that way, then technology is just discovery and like discovering new things that you didn't know before. But you could also look at technology in terms of society. Now, back in the back in the I think back in ancient Greece times, they actually had a steam engine, but they didn't do anything with it. Now, why didn't they do anything with it? Because what would you do with a steam engine if you were an ancient Greek person? I don't know. Can we. I'm gonna set my economy to not do any research because I think we've researched everything. Now, so, if the ancient Greeks had a steam engine and they didn't use it, then is technology really something that we learn about and discover, or is it something that takes place on a societal scale over time? So, if you imagine, if you take a rocket scientist and send them into the past, and that rocket scientist knows everything about how to how to create a rocket and launch it off and go to Mars. But he's in ancient Egypt. Well, what's he gonna do? He doesn't have the machinery required to produce the exact like I imagine the parts need to be like a specific shape or something. He doesn't have the machinery to go about producing the materials required to send a rocket off into space. Now, I was watching one of those things where where they make stuff out of like clay and sticks and stuff, and like they made like an oven or whatever, and the oven could like cook stuff, and you had to like use an actual fire. Now, in the modern day, we don't have fires. Now, so if you look at technology and you as like a societal thing where societies like develop and population grows over time, then the technology can just be seen as something that grows to match the societal demands. There was no demand in ancient Greece for a steam engine. They did not need a a steam engine. They didn't have anything to do with it. But in the modern day, we have really really good engines that can like do complicated stuff, and we actually have a use for it. We can use it to like build like tanks or whatever. Now, Now in the game, you can see that these riflemen take 40 turns to produce. Now that is because I am playing as the Americans, and I just have the city of Muscat, the famous capital of Oman, Muscat, Oman, and Muscat is producing riflemen. So our country is basically just a like a flat desert and stuff, and we're not really having all that much production. We cannot, like, it takes us a while to produce this rifleman because we're just making all of those components from scratch. If we had say like a factory or something, let's see, yeah, we could build a factory, then I imagine it would be like a lot easier. Now we could also have engineers go and turn the land into actual like farmland and stuff, and all of that would uh, would make our would make our production a lot faster. Now, as you can see, our population went up. Now, instead of requiring 8 turns, now because we have a bigger population, now it requires 4 turns because we have actually more people in our land producing this stuff. So, if we look at the technology that way, then in order to like actually implement all this new technology, it takes a while. Even if we know all the things that we need, our country is still very poorly developed. So we have that information, but it's not really like helping us. So, what would happen if you sent some Americans back in time, 10,000 Americans to Muscat, Oman, back to the year 1444? Well, that's what I'm trying to my extremely accurate experimental archaeology to find out. We have our Muscat, Oman, and we have our Americans, and they're just gonna. Now, how do we increase our production of factories and stuff? Well, one way we could do that is to simply hire other people to do it for us. Now, we have some money, so we could just, as a time-traveling Americans back going into the past, we could just, like, hire other people in other places who are poorer to build the stuff for us. Now, the problem with that is we don't actually have all that much money. Let's see. So we'll be producing that in 2 turns. So I think we'll be able to do that just fine. Now, if we want to, so as our time-traveling Americans, if we want to like conquer all of Europe, obviously we're going to need a rifleman, and that rifleman will be pretty useful because I imagine back in the 1400s they didn't have much counter to like a rifleman. Now, the other reason why I'm building a rifleman is because even if I have all of this advanced technology, it won't actually matter if I just leave my land undefended and someone else can just walk into my capital. Now I'm gonna start building an engineer would be good, and that will okay, now we're a very poor country, so I'm going to do that to increase our production by 30. Well, let's see if that increases our production by 50%. But since we already are using some of our production to maintain the soldiers, like ammunition and stuff for them and like food, that means that if one of our production is being used for them, then the other 2 production are being used for the engineers, so then that's why it's twice as fast. So even though we're only going up by 50% production, it gets produced twice as fast because this production is being used to maintain this soldier. Now it will take a while for him to for or it's a regiment or whatever for them to travel to Hofuf, because there are no roads connecting our place. So that makes invading other places difficult if there's like literally no roads and you just have to like go there slowly. Which is now I'm gonna get those engineers and they're gonna like sort of develop the country a bit. I need to manually hit turn done after each turn, which is a bit annoying. So our time traveling Americans, they come on, go there. Are we at war with the whatever? I think we know about them, but we don't have any relations with them. I don't think we're at war or whatever. So that's taking a while. They're just going to have to walk across the desert. Oh, all my... Okay, what's happened here is my people, are kind of a... Oh, because we're a democracy. Okay, well that's a problem. Our people don't much like... how do we, not be a democracy anymore? Civilization, government... Yeah, I'd like to be a monarchy. Yep. Now our country is doing muy bueno because we are now a monarchy, or maybe what are we? Do I have to go to my own intelligence report? Oh, we can't even. I guess we're okay. Here it says we're an anarchy because in the game you have to like go through a period of anarchy before you can become a monarchy. Come on, go attack the city. Now it looks like they just left their city undefended, which is great for us. And we are going to decline. We do... Now, I think we'll just be able to... That doesn't look defended, so I think we should just be able to take it. Now you may be asking yourself, how is this... This is just a gaming video, not one of your, whatchamacallums. But actually, if it was a gaming video... Now you know it's not a gaming video because I'm cheating. Now, if this was a gaming video, I wouldn't be cheating because that kind of defeats the purpose of being a pro gamer if you're just gonna cheat. Are you... Okay, now it looks like let's see, does it tell us what happened? Okay, now this guy has become more experienced at fighting people who are in the... They weren't able to actually take the city, and I feel like if we just walk in there, that city's just gonna get destroyed. Let's see, can we buy the engineers now? Yep. I do not want to have to wait that many turns. And those engineers will be able to go to that oil and turn it into oil. I don't think I said that right. The city is... Okay, the problem here is the city we're attacking is so small that if we just walk into it, it'll just destroy the city and we won't get a new city, which is obviously a problem. You know, so this is definitely experimental archaeology because I'm exploring what would happen if you sent Americans back into time-traveling Americans back into the 1400s, and this is informative content, not gaming, because if it was gaming, I wouldn't be cheating, and that is the only difference between gamers and non-gamers, is that gamers don't cheat ever. There has never been a gamer that has cheated at anything. Oh, so I should stop building engineers and start building like a factory or something. Now those engineers will just go to the oil and start. So here's another example of experimental archaeology. See, I'm making use of the resources that are present in the place that I time traveled to. Now you may be asking why our time traveling Americans are in Oman, but I mean, that's just where they are. So deal with it. I mean, where else would they be? America? This is a map of Europe. There's no America. America was not discovered yet, and I feel like the game would be pretty easy if I just started with all of America. So I just gave myself the city of Muskrat, which is of course our great capital. Okay, now how do I tell you to take that oil and no, that's just spam the keyboard. What? Oh, I don't like press all the buttons. No! Don't hit X. That X is explore. Can your city grow one? Can your city grow in population so that I can take it, so that I can forcefully seize it without killing all the population? Wait a second. I think I might have made a mistake. I have to go into cheat mode again for a second. Because every time I think I might have forgotten to let's see, game, prevent new cities. Yeah, I don't want people just forming new cities, because that'll wreck the historical simulation if people just start building cities in the middle of places. Now, how do I... No. You there, how do I don't know how to tell them to, like, I guess this is another experimental archaeology problem. We want our engineers that we have to build an oil field, but we can't quite explain to them what it is we want them to do. It's like we go, like, tell them, oh yeah, there's oil there, but like, what are they gonna do about it? Oh no, they have another unit. So if I attack that unit, the city's population will go down by 1. And, well, let's see, it's not I. It must be M. If we attack the city, let's go to Qatar. Maybe that'll give see, maybe Qatar is less well defended. Hopefully. I mean, it's like, it's not really a problem that they have the defense. It's that if we try to take this, we want to capture the city and use the inhabitants as like forced labor. We don't want to just go there and just like what's the word, just like burn the city to the ground. And if that's such a small population, then it's hard to like occupy it like without a fight. And if there's a fight, then the people die, and if the people die, then we can't use them as workers. Dead workers don't work as well as living workers, which is unfortunate. I wish we could use zombie workers. Now, Qatar also has a population of 2 and a unit defending, which means that if we try to take it, it will just So that is kind of a problem. See, are you almost done I this better be the correct thing to do. I'm pretty sure you. I'm just gonna go send them back to Muskrat for the time being. I don't want them like doing any sneak attacks on my capital. Okay, now you start turning this land into farmland. Go. Okay, now if we look, then it's so that doesn't give us food. As time travelers, we have to balance the need to have people work for producing things, but also people obviously have to eat food. So, so we don't actually have enough food to have the workers go there, because then the people will just be like hungry, and then they won't have enough food to like they won't produce enough food to feed themselves. So we have to get our engineer to irrigate the land and turn it into we need to make the land produce more food so that a smaller amount of workers can be used to make food for all the other workers who will be producing the needed production, which is just represented in the game as like an abstract concept of, oh yeah, the people produce stuff, which I guess they're just producing whatever the city production is. So for example, for example, you could say that, oh, this worker is, I don't know how this like they're producing food, they're foraging for food and also supplies for the infantry. I don't know what's actually. Oh, Yart, did I tell you to do that? No, it's kind of hard as time travelers to get your people to do what you want them to do specifically. Oh, it's yeah, sure, except King George Washington. That's kind of funny. Did you irrigate the land like we told you to do? So basically, what this episode is trying to find out is to find out whether technology is a societal thing or like a knowledge based thing. So we have this tiny city, and we are trying to get the people to conquer the rest of Europe, and we're seeing how easy is that with all of the modern technologies and everyone else is like in the Middle Ages. How easy is that to accomplish? Now that produces 2, which means we actually have enough food to actually like feed ourselves, to feed the workers, so that they have enough food to actually work. So, as of right now, we've not been overly successful, but that's mostly because we don't want to just like burn down the cities that we conquer. We want to actually like take them, and even if there's just a small amount of soldiers, like now I'm considering, would it be possible to like say, hey, in exchange for peace you have to give us that city, or would like they just be like, no? So I really want well, let's see, I'm wondering, because even if I take Qatar or whatever, that's not going to be like really all that useful. But if I want to actually take over the rest of Europe, or I guess this isn't Europe. This is like the Middle East and Oman, which isn't a part of Europe, but it's like connected to Europe basically through Turkey and through the Caucasus. So it is like it's like by Europe, you know. And this is a map of Europe, so obviously now since the farming technology has actually advanced significantly, so is that gonna produce more food? Doesn't look like it. I don't know. I don't think our workers have been able to implement the strategies we want them to. You go there. Start irrigating that. Now, I don't know why our advanced modern farming isn't really working all that well. I wonder what would be the best way to actually take over the world as someone with really advanced technology. Because if we just march over everything with tanks and stuff, we'll just destroy everything. And that's not what we want. We want to actually take it. Why is this not producing more food? I do not understand. Let's... Now, obviously, if this was a gaming video, I'd just start as normal Oman and have my capital be Muscat or whatever. But since this is an informative experimental archaeology, I am trying to figure out what... Because if you're playing this game normally, the one country won't have access to all this stuff. When unless you're so good at like libraries that your whole country is completely more advanced than everyone else, it's very unlikely that you'll wind up in a situation like this in a normal game of this. I need to turn done button every single time. Okay, if we look at our city, and if we compare our modern agriculture with the more what would you say, like more older form of agriculture, as you can see here. What? Why are they exactly the same? I don't understand. And let's see, the factory will produce... So that, like, doubles the speed, but I want to get our population up. Because currently our population is remaining stagnant because all of our people are just producing the same amount of food as they eat, and there's no food to, like, grow the population with. You need to be producing excess food for your population to grow. So even though I want our dudes to be working on that oil field and like making the factory and stuff, I'm going to actually have to delay that for some amount of time if I want to actually have like a stable growing population. And then our population will still be able to go up and produce stuff at the same time. And then after that, let's see, what's this? The richest civilizations, where are we? Where are we? I don't imagine we're too rich, considering we only have one city. Where are we? I can't seem to find us. Americans. Yeah, there we are. Let's see, now what do we do after we... Now, is there like a specific type of building or something that actually like oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to have a factory, but what does mass transit do? Production. Does it tell us? Okay, mass transit. Help. What does that do? Okay, what? Okay, what about this? Now, we could have, like, stealth fighters and stuff, but I don't think that's gonna be very useful. In terms of actually, like, improvement over just walking into the city with some soldiers. What about... Can, like, certain, like, tanks and stuff walk into a city and take it at the same time? Or, like, a tank would, like, have multiple movements and then it would attack and then take the city or something. I don't think, like the quality of our soldiers is that important, just that they... I mean, it's not gonna make that much of a difference in terms of, like, actually, taking it. So I think our growth in this case will probably be exponential, because we start out with all the knowledge we need, but none of the industry, none of the actual stuff we want in order to actually, like, utilize that knowledge. So we have to, like, slowly build up our industry over time through various improvements, like the farms and the oil well and currently we just have the palace, but we're gonna have a factory which will make producing stuff a lot faster, hopefully. Now I'm building a road. I wonder if I could artificially, like, just go into their territory and make their country have more food. Would that be an effective way to, like... Like, if I just give... Like, if I just make them have more food by, like, tilling their soil or whatever, like, for them. Now, obviously, they know how to, like, farm and stuff. It's just that they need to, like, produce their own workers, because unlike in real life, every nation like starts off with no roads or anything. They have to build the roads and farmland themselves, which is because I do not feel like going to every single hexagon in Europe and being like, oh yeah, I think that's the farmland, that's the road, that's no, you build the road yourself, AI. But actually, now I'm doing the opposite. I'm building the road for the AI, specifically so that their population will grow, and then I'll be able to take the city, and there'll still be people living in the city. Which I think is a pretty smart idea, although I don't know, I don't want them ambushing the engineers or anything like that, because, like, you, those kind of, like, support units are often, like, just attacked by the enemy, although what's our relation, with the, oh, Serbia's dead, so is Oldenburg. So that ceasefire lasts another 2 turns. So that's, but like, what are they gonna do? I have like guys with guns, so unless they just sneak around, like if they have like a horse or something there, they could just, just take the city. But I'm hoping that the AI isn't smart enough to do that. So that's maybe what I would do if I was the AI. And I knew that these people had really advanced technology and that their capital wasn't defended. But obviously, if I had vision over all the AI stuff, I'd be able to just like sneak around and stuff like that too. But I don't know which of their cities are defended and which aren't, so I'll just have to factory will be built pretty soon. Just a few turns. So what I'm predicting is an exponential growth where it starts out where the country is kind of like poor or whatever, and then it sort of like gets more developed as like time goes on, where it'll just be like sort of that exponential growth where we start off for like the longest time we're just the city of Muskrat, and then eventually we just take city after city after city. It should get like faster and faster and faster, hypothetically. That's what I'm thinking will happen. Oop, what? Oh no. They seem to be up to something, which I cannot allow. So I will get myself another rifleman to actually defend the city, and I can't do that. Ooh. You there, get to Muskrat as fast as possible. Now, if that guy takes Muskrat, then that's game over for me, which would be an interesting end to our experimental archaeology, but that's not what I want to have happen, because, well, obviously that's, and they're just not gonna. Ooh, they're moving there now. Who would win? A bunch of guys with spears and stuff, or okay, yep. Sounds good to me. Okay, no, that's inaccurate. King Karakoyunlu. That is not right. Okay, now we have the problem of that we have no money. You might be wondering why we have no money. It's because, well, let's see, we're not really producing money. We're just sort of producing production. and the things we have actually cost maintenance, that, let's see, we can, I think, by increasing our trade with our neighbors, we'll be able to make our country more productive. If we trade with people, then we'll make money off of the trade and stuff. So we need roads for that. Now, or I guess maybe it's representing, like, with greater infrastructure than more taxes that are paid or something. Anyways, roads equals more money for whatever reason. Some of these turns kind of take a while. Now I do not have... Now if I... Yeah, that factory, I simply don't have the... Now here's another example of the experimental archaeology. And if we go to diplomacy and we meet these guys and we say that we'll agree to a ceasefire, and they decline. Okay, now we go to these other people that we've met, and we go to I have an idea. We need money. Okay, now if I give you so due to the game rules, I'm not allowed to I was gonna try selling my technology, but that's not actually allowed. That is not allowed. No permito. Oh no, I forgot to tell him to build roads. Now we're definitely in the Okay, so to make our... Now we're gonna run out of money very soon, and I don't want to run out of money because then we'll have to sell our factory, and then we'll be back at square zero. So we're gonna have to do this instead. Now that will... that is... What about this? That produces no money. Okay, now we're gonna run out of... What's going to happen here is we're gonna run out of gold in let's see, it looks like 3 turns. Like, even with doing that, because currently our city will never grow in population under those conditions. If we have the... We could just start producing... what I'm going to do is I'm going to produce a marketplace, because I don't think this is, like, what we want in the long term. Although those guys are fortifying right next to our capital, and if we just, like, leave it undefended, they will take it as soon as that ceasefire runs out. Now our city will grow in 4 turns. Now we're gonna build a railroad, I think. That'll increase our money. Don't exactly know how, but oh well. They don't want to be right next to our... Hey, don't you... Okay, now we have a problem there. When that peace treaty, when that ceasefire runs out, they're just gonna destroy our oil well, which we don't want. because oil is good. Okay, I adjusted the taxes, but I still think we're gonna run out of gold. So if it reaches 0, then we'll just change the production from marketplace to gold, so that way all of our production will be used to directly become as if it was producing taxes. Like here you can see production is 1, but if we turn those production into coins, coinage, then that gives us money. Okay, good. They've left the oil field. Now that appears to be giving us the same amount of gold it was before we that's okay. Well, that's not ideal. How do we increase our... How do we increase our money supply? Obviously by producing a marketplace. But we need production for a marketplace, and we don't have... currently our production is being used to support the engineers and the infantry. Or wait, I think... I think they... Yeah, I don't actually play this game. I mostly just observe the game, so I'm not an expert on how it actually works. But it appears as... Well, let's see. How long until... Okay, so now... Is there any way to produce... Well, let's see, we're just gonna have to turn that into coinage. Unfortunately. $4 gold per turn. So this is obviously not a perfectly accurate, like, if someone was doing experimental archaeology in real life, they wouldn't do it the way I'm doing here. But you can see how it's sort of, how even if you have all the technologies of the modern day, that doesn't exactly mean that you'll just be like, where did those guys come from? I don't know. Even if you have all the technologies of the modern day, it'll still take a while to actually, like, turn this, like, medieval city into a city that actually, like, is productive and stuff. And actually has all, like, the modern buildings and stuff that a modern society needs, because, like, a society is more than just... You know, it actually needs that infrastructure, like libraries and schools and hospitals and stuff, that, like, if... So if I do that, how long will it take me to make the marketplace? 4 turns. And how long would it take for me to run out of money? More than 4 turns. Okay, perfect. So it shows how you have to, like, balance your production, your food. Obviously you don't want your medieval country to go bankrupt, And just because you know, like, modern, like, technology, that does not automatically mean. Now, obviously, there could be, like, some things like, oh yeah, you're able to, like, trick, I don't know, like, that the game, like, isn't, that would happen if there was such a big technological difference, but aren't actually, like, represented in the game. But that's, like, fine. That's a-okay. Because, it's like, you can't actually travel back in time. But if you were to, like, make a simulation about traveling back in time, it wouldn't be, like, good to, like, project your own ideas of, oh, I would just do that, and just say, well, here's the stuff we know we can do. We know we can, like, make engineers and then, like, train those engineers and then have them build a railroad. And those are things that obviously you can do, because that's how, like, without engineers, like, there wouldn't be railroads or whatever. Stuff like that. So our city has like, been growing in population, so that will, like, these things do not produce enough food, methinks. Just 2 food. And then our only thing for production is that, but I think that's pretty good. Happiest civilizations. The Savoyards, and then where are we? We are near the bottom. But it still calls us glorious, because none of our people are unhappy, but they're not particularly happy either. Which, I mean, I guess that's just cause we're Americans. That's kind of just how that works. Let's see now. We don't want an airport. What do we want? I definitely don't want to just nuke the cities, because that would... Manufacturing plant? Sure. Sounds important. Now, are we actually... No, we are still not actually producing more money than we're... So, what I think is that I think I'm just gonna have, like, a this guy just to, like, defend the actual city, so no one can just walk in and take it. And then I'm gonna have the other infantry guy just, like, walk over and, like, take cities, which I still think will be rather difficult, because there are, like, it's hard to just take a city without, like, actually causing harm to the civilian population. Although, like, I feel like realistically you could just be like, walk outside the city, like, shoot a bunch of guns and be like, yeah, surrender now. But I guess that's not something we can do. I mean, we could, like, but, like, if we go to intelligence report, or no, to diplomacy, it is an option to be like, yeah, give us your cities, but, like, they don't want that, So, like, even if we could, like, we can, like, destroy your entire place, but they don't want to, like, they know that we're not going to, I guess. They know that if they just give us their cities, and we're just going to take their other cities that they didn't give us through, like, military force or whatever. So that's a bit of a problem. So now that's producing money. So now our gold is balanced out. So we haven't, like, our major our problem is the actually taking of cities with, because like what are we just gonna do? Like walk into the city and shoot? Like we can't just walk in and shoot everybody, and it's kind of hard to like just take a city. Now what we could do is we could just walk north until we find a city that's big enough to like get directly conquered by us. Or, hmm, like because if it's even if it's a size 2 city, the first attack it goes to size 1 and then there's no defenders, and then the second attack destroys the city, so like we need it to be like a size 3 with 1 defender or something like that. Which, knowing them, they probably have more defenders than that. Hmm. I think I might, now that I have this other unit, I might like go out and just see what population size and approximately how many defenders are we need to kill. Hopefully it's gotten bigger than like size 2, preferably like size 4 or 5 or something, but even then it probably has like more defenders. So it's hard to take it without like actually take the city and not just destroy it. Cuz like you could have the best artillery in the world and like nuclear bombs and stuff, but if you just nuke a city, you can't also take that city. So we don't want to destroy the city. Like, well, if this was like a normal game, and like obviously if you're taking a city with like tanks and soldiers and stuff, it's gonna be like a bigger city, than just like some tiny city, the smallest it can still be without getting destroyed. Kind of unlikely to just have that. Hmm. We could just like destroy every city we see and then just build a big railroad to keep on going. But then we would run into the problem of we need actually money to pay for those soldiers, and we need to take cities to get money, and if we just destroy every city, then we're not going to actually have enough money in our. Oh, no, 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 no. Whoops. I want you to be building what's a bank. Build a bank, please. Oh, I think it's too late. I think they're gonna be building another mechanized infantry. Yeah, I want a bank. I don't think I can pay for another mechanized infantry. I mean, I guess I can. Because I have another one, I might as well like have it follow the engineers. Oh look, there's a road there. Did I build that road? I don't think I did. I might have built that road. So yeah, this does like to a certain extent like explore the challenges of if you were a time traveler trying to take over the world, what challenges you would face. But I do want to actually take over the world, which so far I've done basically nothing in that regards. So I think maybe this is like a win for like the society and infrastructure and all that, rather than a win for the It's better to like get recorded, cause like one of my last like videos I uploaded just like was like just not even recorded. That's annoying. Where like it recorded the first few minutes and then the rest was just audio for some strange reason that I don't comprehend. So if this video has that same problem where like the last like hour of footage just like gets cut off, then I think I'm gonna move to like to shorter videos, because I don't want to waste an entire hour's worth of video. It's not even gonna. Now I want you to go to Qatar, check on Qatar's population and whether or not how well it's defended. So what do I do if it's like defended by like multiple units and stuff? Like if I destroy the first unit, then it just goes down in population, and then more down until eventually the city just gets destroyed. If I had building new cities enabled, then this would be rather easy. I would just destroy all the cities and build new ones. But then it's not what I'm going to do in this challenge, because it seems kind of unrealistic that you would just like, well, I guess like the Native Americans, we just sort of like destroyed most of like the existing Native Americans and then just colonized it with new citizens of America or whatever. Does the railroad increase production, or is that just let's see. So currently food is not going up at all. Oh well. So if you think if my city is not going up in food, why would Qatar be going up in food? Well, because my city is doing all that production and stuff. Now, eventually, if I have all the buildings I need, like banks and supermarkets and all that, then I will just be able to, like, fund a large enough army to take over the world without having to actually take any more cities. But I think it'll be easier if I can actually, like, take the other people's cities and population, rather than just having the one city. Now we are at war with Qatar, but like, what are they gonna do against mechanized infantry? Not much. Well, I guess that it's still just two. It's still just two. Okay, that's it, Qatar. I don't need you anyways. I'm just gonna attack you. I am just going to attack you, Qatar. Even if I can't take the city, I'll just find a city with a population that's big enough to take, and then I'll have the railroads connecting Muskrat to that city. That's how I'll conquer the world. Because I am not liking these fellows with their not getting conquered by me and not having their entire population destroyed. I mean, that is just rude of them. See, and then they still have another defender even after that, so like I'm just gonna destroy the city. Imagine they actually beat my infantrymen. I mean, I guess like if you just hand a bunch of random Omanians guns and they've never seen guns before, maybe they're not gonna like perform as well as actual like trained Marines. Speaking of Marines, maybe that's what we should be using. I think they're actually better at like taking stuff. Let's see, so this has not been very successful. It is turn 87, and I still have not taken a single city. So I wonder how accurate this is to real life, because how accurate is it to say that, like, cause like the city population going down by 1 every time you try to attack, I think that game rule needs to be changed, but let's see. If I go to editing mode, I don't think that's something I can change at the moment. I think you have to change it like in the actual before that you create the thing. I'm gonna see if it is. Did my trained infantryman lose? I think he did. Oh no. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's the end of this.